Okay, and sharing my screen. Balu, you call me after this call, okay?
Yeah, okay, sure, Mahendra.
Okay. Mm, so, where we are actually, we almost covered the Power BI services. Let me go through if I did not cover anything. Okay, app.powerbi.com. We will create one new project. Okay, it's a brand new. Okay, again we will create a new project in the real time scenario. How basically the work come to you. The work will be created in Jira or Azure DevOps. Okay, they will create a user story and they will assign you. Okay, now we covered almost everything I seen. Just let's go through settings, personal storage, manage storage, and create content pack, view content pack done. Admin portal. Did we see this admin portal? Here, yeah, admin portal. If you see, go to Microsoft Office 365 Admin Center and then add users and premium per user preview. Audit lags like how this has been using. Everything is a features. It's purely administration part, guys. Okay, tenant settings. Okay, capability settings. Okay, cancel for now. So all these things self-explanatory. You just go through them, and if you have any questions, just ask me. Okay, it's purely capability settings, Azure connections, workspaces, how to handle all those stuff. Whoever all is accessing usage matrix. If you see usage matrix, okay, if you see usage matrix, you will come to know. Okay, but this is actually could not reload. Try again. It's saying. Okay, let me reload again. So what exactly mean by that? How many users, how many times this Power BI service logged in, and what visual is the highest used? All those stats admin will get. Okay, but yes, we do have that option in our workspace also. Let's say if you go to dev workspace or my workspace, if you go to visualization, here also you have a usage matrix. See the open usage matrix. What it will tell? It will tell you how many people, how many times. Okay, all these things it will be available. See, it's a ready-made machine learning dashboard they will give. Views per day, how many views per day this dashboard has been viewed. Okay, unique views, how many unique users came. Like let's say I might have viewed 10 times, but I'm the only person. Okay, something like that. Shares per day, how many shares done. Okay, and total views, total shares. See, views rank, total shares rank. See, this is almost a kind of Power BI dashboard. Okay, so this is the same way you can also see in the administration portal for only specific to this dashboard, not to the report. Okay, it's only specific to the dashboard. Okay, that is what it is in the settings admin portal. And manage gateway we have done. Settings, it's go to dataset settings. Yes, manage embed codes. This is one of the most important thing, guys. Okay, what is this basically? Let's say you have a dashboard. Okay, you have a dashboard. Inside that you want to see, I think we have gone through this, right? Save a copy, print this page, performance inspector. I mean, how this is loading, it will check you whether your performance of this dashboard is good or not. See, by default this will give you. Okay, in our previous days I remember performance was a very key interview question. How do you improve performance of a report? Okay, or how do you improve your performance of ETL? So all those questions were there, but now it's altogether a different dimension. Okay, performance inspector is there, so we will inspect like how the performance is looks like. And now you just check the settings and you check this name and everything. Okay, okay, so all those stuff just cancel it. And the file basically you can download. Where you can download, if you go to report you can download, but this is a save a copy option is there on or print to the dashboard. You can print this page, and you can share this to another user. Chat in a Teams is just nothing but a just like what is we called WhatsApp. Okay, just like that, where you can chat with the groups. Okay, and you can give a comment also. Okay, giving a feedback, like let's say I'm not seeing this country, let's say I'm not seeing this data, I can just directly give a comment, or you can talk this business. Okay, the highest business is actually done by India, something like that. Okay, done by this person. Subscribe, what does it mean by subscribe? If any changes comes in, you will get a notification. Let's say I might have done another report, or the same report has been modified. If something is done, you will get a notification. That is called subscription, just like a newspaper subscription. A daily newspaper will come with alert. Okay, whenever there is a refresh done, the email will goes to them, something like that. You can edit this. Okay, add new dashboard theme, mobile view, everything in the edit part. Where? In the dashboard. Okay, in the dashboard. Okay, now again, see related content. If you see the related content, new lineage view come. So see lineage view. This is the lineage view. But what is this? See, it will give you what is the data set, what is the report beyond this dashboard. Okay, so that is it. Show in the lineage view. Now again it will goes to lineage view. Okay, I'm just verifying all of the options. Okay, usage matrix just we have done. Set as a featured, which means it's a featured report dashboard. So I mean, what exactly mean by that? Please confirm that you want to set the visualization as a feature dashboard. Now you need to check what is meant by feature dashboard. Okay, featured dashboard in Power BI. Okay, it will give you what exactly. Create a feature dashboard. When it's set to a feature dashboard, each time you open the Power BI service, it opens with the dashboard displays. Okay, it will by default open. Change the feature dashboard. You will change your mind later, but you can set a new dashboard as a feature dashboard. Remove the feature dashboard. So something like that. You can go and check here what exactly mean by feature dashboard. See, it will just give you set as a feature dashboard. Set as a feature dashboard. Now success. That's it. But what exactly mean by that? Many of us dashboard we visit more than any others. It might be dashboard we use run to our business. It might be dashboard that contains aggregations or tiles from many different dashboards and reports. For that, you can create a feature dashboard so that it will be in the top, just like favorite. Okay, it's just like a favorite concept. Okay, but let's go to this feature concept. I think in the visualization part we covered all of them. Now let's jump into reports. Okay, all the same way. Same workspace, go to report. Why there is no report? Okay, let's go to my workspace then. First copy or population saving is fine. Here, almost same, almost same export. But if you go in the file, you have a download PBX file extra. Okay, from here you can download the PBX file. Okay, and export. When you see export here, export to PPT and PDF and analyze in Excel. Share. This is again the same. Comment, same. Subscribe, same. Edit. If you edit, it will just edit the report editor. Okay, visualization part it will come. Okay, but again they are the same. This is a pin to dashboard, live usage, lineage view, and set related see related content. Okay, what is the dashboard backend? So that's how it is. Now let's go to data set. And make sure I'm covering all of them. Okay, yeah, in the data set also the same file, save as, print, view. Okay, yeah, in the view there are three things. Okay, these options also available in the desktop: fit to page, fit to width, fit to size. Okay, just viewing in the mobile. Okay, sometimes we can also view, or single and something like that. This is also same. Reading view, mobile layout, ask a question. Ask a question is also one of the feature, right? We can create by using ask a question, and we can create custom questions, okay, in the dataset settings. Featured questions we can create, and those questions, if they can type, the report will come. But what is the extra advantage? What, by typing that question by visual type, if you type any visual type, it will automatically change the data to that visual type. Dynamically they will change. So that is the beauty of ask a question. And text box, shapes, buttons, all are coming from Power BI desktop. Maybe if in one fine day they might remove that Power BI desktop, okay, because all our features are one by one, they are actually adding, okay. If you go on this, maybe that's it. You don't have a data view and data model view, okay. Those two things are not there. That is the difference, okay. You can tell them that, and you don't have option to go to query editor. If you compare the desktop ribbon, okay, those options are actually missing. You should be very careful. 1 second, what happened? Let me close this. Let me close this. And yeah, so where are we? Yeah, so it's almost, let me open a new thing. Guys, you should be aware, like, what is the difference between editing a report in the service and the Power BI desktop. So this is an must interview question. You simply answer by one thing. Query editor is not available, but no, this is not also right answer, because the query editor is indirectly available here. But what else? You will not see all these options: insert, modeling view, okay, and this data view. This is not at all possible. Okay, enter data. Okay, this is not possible, and model you cannot see there. Okay, these are the two things. But what did I say? Transform data is not available. But is that true? Actually it is true, but it's not true. Why? Why? Anybody can guess? Anybody can guess? Because data flows are coming. Data flow is nothing but your query editor. Let me create one new data flow. Create a new data flow. Oh, why so? I don't have option to create a new data flow. Data set, streaming data set, page, because it's a free version. So that is the reason I don't have an option to create a data flow. I don't have an option to create a data flow, but it is just nothing but your online query editor. It's your online query editor. I will show you how that looks like. Data flow in Power BI service. This will looks like this. If you go to images, it will be look like this. Okay, you will get wide varieties of file connections. Okay, and but just looks different. Okay, just looks different as it is an online service. Okay, it is an online service, something like this. Okay, you will see something like this. Okay, next time what do we do? What we can do is we can try to get the premium subscription. Okay, direct premium subscription. I think they are not giving premium subscription as a free subscription, but if they give, then we can try next time, try to create data flow. But nothing to worry, data flow is nothing but your query editor in online. So you will see this. So you will see this, add an entity. Okay, I'll tell you what is the benefit, and we should also know the limitations. Okay, data set benefits, data flow and Power BI service benefits. Okay, Power BI data flows and why you should care. Okay, who is on Excel acceleratorbi.com? They've actually mentioned what is the use case of data flows, when to use data flows. Okay, what are the benefits of Power BI? Not Power BI actually, data flows. Okay, let's open up this and this. You will come to know. See what is the data flow? Same data sources and just kind of Azure data lake storage. See, data flow, what exactly mean by that? You can connect to different data sets, and internally it will create a Azure data lake store gen 2, but you will not see that. Okay, you will not see that, but inbuilt of data flow is nothing but this, and from there you will create a data set and then report and then dashboard. So that is a beauty. But what benefits you are going to get? Now you see Power BI data sets or Power BI data flow. It was not beta, now it is just live now. Okay, Power BI data flows you can connect directly. Once you create the data flow, you can connect and you can just use in the modeling part. So that is the benefit. Now let's go to here. See, this guy is also explaining data flows. Usage of data flows. Okay, you can just go to this video. I will share this link. Okay. But now this is not the actual one. We will start the actual project now. Okay, this is one of the blog to understand data flow. But yeah, I'll tell you before you go. I'll tell you so that you will get and you will understand more. Okay, about this. So the data flow. Why data flow? You see an entity. What is an entity? Here you should understand this concept. On which day we have 18th day. Let's create a new folder. Day 18. Create a new nodes. So in data warehousing, so everybody should know this data warehousing concept. Okay, what exactly mean by this? We already covered the star schema. So it is a data warehousing concept. Okay, but what exactly mean by data warehousing? While creating data warehousing, you should have a three steps. I know in three steps you create a data warehousing. One is conceptual view. Okay, conceptual, conceptual and logical view, conceptual view and physical. What is the difference? In the conceptual, you will define the entity. You will define the entity. You are not sure whether that is a table or a view or a store procedure. You might not know, but you will define. I have a sales entity. Inside sales entity, how that looks like, how many keys are there. Let's say I have a location entity. How many locations I have? What is the key? All those things you will not have. Just you will define entity. Let's say example sales location. Okay, and customer. These are all the entities. But here nothing is defined. Any how many columns it has, how many columns it has, what are all the key columns, nothing is defined in the conceptual view. But whereas in the logical view you will understand the difference between these entities. Okay, entities like sales. Now in the logical view you will understand the relationship. Okay, relationship between sales, location, customer, how they are connected each based on what keys will be defined here. Okay, keys will be defined. But what is the physical view? See, so far you do not depend on any software, but physical view come depend on the software. Could be SQL Server, okay, could be Oracle, okay. This is called physical view. Okay, guys, you understand? So the difference is this: physical view depend on the software. Again, here you will have everything. But when I implement this logical view on the SQL Server, it will be different. If I implement this logical view in the Oracle, it will be different. If I implement this thing in the Azure, it will be different because of their advantages or disadvantages, or could be anything. Okay, I can tell a story, but if I ask you to repeat the story again, everybody will tell in a different way. Why? Because of your capabilities. So that's how it is. This is the real product where we are going to place this logical view so that it depends. So this is the physically we are going to create. Based on the software advancements, you will get a different features. So that's what the physical view. Whatever the question, if they ask on the data warehousing, do you know data warehousing? Yes, I know. You can tell this conceptual view. We create the entities and you don't create anything in the keys, something like that. But when it comes to logical view, you create the relation between those entities which are created in the conceptual view. Physical view, you implement the real data warehouse here. This is called implementation. Implementation of data warehouse. Okay, this is a real implementation. Okay, real implementation. So you have a star schema and snowflake schema. Difference is what? Star schema, you have a direct relationship with fact. Direct relationship with fact. Relationship with fact. Fact table. All dimensions. What do you have direct relationship? All dimensions. All dim tables will have direct relationship with fact tables. Fact table. Only one fact table, all covered by dimensions. Okay, looks like star schema. Okay, so what is snowflake schema? Simple. Indirect relationship. Okay, one or two tables might not have direct relationship with the fact table, which means let's assume a category table is there, product category. Okay, apart from product category, you have also product subcategory table, but this subcategory is not directly related with the fact table. So that's where the snowflakes comes. One or more dim tables not connected with, not directly connected with, not directly connected with fact table. This is called snowflakes. Okay, they will call one more thing, but I don't think that is required. But two things are fine. Mostly in the Power BI we go star schema 60 to 70%. If not, snowflake schema. Okay, nothing else. Okay, yeah, you should have this concept ready. Okay, now let's jump into practical. So now let's open and we create a brand new dashboard, brand new report, how we create in the real time, and then publish into the service. So this is the real work today we are starting up. Okay, so now let me go to transform data, or I can get the data from here itself. Anything is fine. Okay, now let me go to transform data. Okay, and let me show you they're actually different. Okay, you see I'm in a different view altogether. I've already told you, but again I'm repeating you so that it will be a repetition for you. So end of my course you will be more confident that if I listen is this class, it's more than enough my preparation. That's how should be more confident. That's my you know, guts. Okay, now, so how I'm going to connect this time? We covered Excel. We did not cover SQL Server. We did not cover analysis services. Okay, I mean, this is not possible. I think so, because I do not have analysis services. So, but we'll try to cover the SQL Server. Text and CSV we covered, web we covered, OData feed not covered, blank query not covered. Let's see more. Okay, I mean, hundreds of sources are there. We might not cover hundreds of sources, but important sources we'll try to cover. Now, this time we will try to do this JSON file one time, but yeah, we'll do this later. But let's go to this folder. This is looks different. But when to use this folder? There is a limitation when to use this folder. But let me use now. I will tell you while I'm using. You will come to know the. If I tell in the theory, you might not sure like why I'm telling this. Okay, if you go, it will ask you to choose a folder. Okay. Now where should I go? This PC and the D drive and the D drive Power BI. Power BI all files now source. Okay, not this. Yeah, now I have connected to this. Okay, this is the only folder. It will not ask you to select the file. Okay, it will just ask you to select the folder. Whatever the files it has, it will just dump directly. But there is a difference. Now, once I click the OK, you will see that view, and you should be very careful to watch this. Okay. Yes. Combine and transfer data. This is the difference. It will ask you to combine all the files at one go. What is a combine? It is just like append. Okay, but I have all these files, but all are different files. How can I combine? I cannot combine. That is the reason you have another option, transform. But when to use this folder, you are sure that you have a files just like Apple part 1, Apple part 2, something like that. Or you have a sales by month, sales by location, sales by sales by years. Okay, this kind of files, those files should be in the same format. Same columns, number of columns should be same, number of column type should be same. If you are confident enough, then go for choose folder and just boom, it will work for you. It will save you a lot of clicks. Okay, hope you understand. But anyway, I'll go and I'll try to show you one extra feature. Though this is not right this is not a right use case, but still I'm using it, and I'll show you a different magic here. Transform data. But what is this? It's all about the metadata of the files in the folder. Okay, you see, this is the binary content, this is the file name, this is the extension, this is the date of access, date of modified. It is just like a metadata of the file. So attributes, if you see attributes, you see lot of kind, size, hidden, see temporary, spare, see all this is metadata of your file. But this is all we don't require basically the file path from where you choose. But if you closely observe, we have a two sources. We have worked with this. But yeah, I want to work with this taxi sources. Okay, let's choose this. Yeah, this file I want, but if I want another file, if I want another file, again I need to go back to the source. But how can I do that? I have an option. Go to drill to as add as a query. So this is the one I can add as a query. See, now this time I have this, but what else? You double click. Okay, if you double click it, it will open up as a file. Boom, that's how it is. See, promoted as a header, automatically promoted as a header, imported CSV. So if you go above this, there was a gap. Okay, columns were not headers. Okay, then Power BI itself is automatically promoted. Okay, sometimes Power BI will give you this intelligence. Okay, and the data type changes. Okay, but what exactly this is the file name of this. This is 2014 revenue. But let's go back to this source again, and this is done. Let's take this also, add as a new query, double click it. See again, but this time, see, this time it did not choose that first row as a header. Okay, that's what sometimes will not. You need to change this. Okay, now change the name. What is this? Now we got two. Okay, but what exactly this one? This is the imported CSV. What is this? Here you see, yeah, this is taxes 2014 source. Okay, this is taxi 2014. Do we receive that? This is a source 2014. This is revenue. Okay, this is source. Okay, you can rename this something like this. Okay, ideally this is not the good scenario, but anyway we came, and if you have a kind of scenario, you can do that. Okay, taxi source 2014 CSV dot, it will not be accepted. So now we have this and this two sources came, but another one more file is also there. Anywhere I can go in from anywhere. Okay, anywhere you can go to source, and you have one more file. Four files we want. Two revenue files, two source files. Okay, 2013 revenue file is also available. Yes, go here, add as a new query. Okay, now click on this. This name is automatically coming if I go as a new, add as a query. Okay, so yes, I have these four files. Now I'm going to work with these four files. Okay, how can I create? So last time I might have shown or not sure, but you can also create a grouping. Now I'm doing ETL process, guys. ETL, extract, transform and load. Now we have extracted these four files. Now I'm going to do transformation. Before I'm going to do transformation, I'm just applying some real-time scenarios. What you can do is, while you're doing ETL, okay, last time I remember we have saved without loading the file, and he observed that file size is very light. Okay, but now again I'll do some extra steps here. Create a group. Okay, you can say that source files, something like that. Source files, or you can create a name called taxi source. This is also fine. Okay, create this, and you can push only taxi files there, taxi sources. Okay, and you can create one more folder. Group is nothing but folder. Okay, this is a revenue. Create a revenue and move this revenue files here. Okay, two ways you can create. Either you can create the folder name as per the business or as per the technical. Okay, if I ask you to create, I can say I can create only one folder. I can push all of them and say that these are all the extract files. Then I'll create one more folder for transform folder. Then again one more folder for load or a model, something like that. So that ETL will be available for you by seeing these folders. Okay, anyway, you can create anyway. There is no hard and fast, but you should be, it should give a more readable or more understandable way. It should be looks like very good. Oh wow, this is nice, something like that. Okay, it's depend on your project type. Okay, how you create. So this is the sources, and this is revenue. Okay, really good. Yeah, all sources are like this, and all revenue files are like this. Oh, this is really nice. Okay, and one more folder you can create for model, something like that. Model, which is actually, I'll talk this later, but let's jump and understand these files. Okay, what we can do, if you see, these are all not looks like same. We have some junk data here. You have some only two columns we have, but you understand, right? Rides per day passengers. Here you have rides per day and passenger. So which means if you observe closely, this is a delimited data. So you can replace this data by delimited. Okay, split column by delimiter. Use simply this option. Okay, so that you will get riders per day and passengers. These are the passengers, those are the rides. Okay, simply click. Now just double click on that to get rename. Okay, dot one. This is rides per day. These are the rides per day. These are the passengers, number of passengers. It's just like a Uber. You just think that this is a Uber data. Okay, each day number of rides are almost 44 lakh 12,630 rides are there, and 75 lakh people, or no 7 lakhs 57,330 passengers actually traveled. Okay, this is just to understand the business. Okay, now you do have this, but here you have some junk data. So just to avoid that, select all but unselect this blank, so that all blanks will go off. Yes, this looks perfect now. Now we have done the transformation. We have applied the transformation steps. Okay, I can do one thing. I can merge 2013 files as a one and 2014 as a one more file, or I can merge these two sources as a one source, these revenue files as one source. This is purely up to you. Okay, see, simple. I can make one more new file which will have only tax source. What I can do, I can append these two files, and let's say now you can go and see what is the row count. What is the row counts in 2000? 365 days. Obviously, per day count 365 it will come, right? In 2014 also, ideally it should be 365 days. But if I merge, if I append, how many? Double. 600, 700 something, 365 plus 365 should be there. So I can create total taxes source. That is one way. Or what I can do is 2014 tax source versus revenue. I can create only 2014 file one file and 2013 one file. I can create and I can use together. Anything is fine. You can create one file here, another new file here, and use the other new file here, and you can merge that two files. Or you can make 2013 one file, one set, 2014 one set, and create a new file. Anything is perfectly fine. Whatever I do, you can do opposite. Okay, as a work assignment, I will give these files. That is your assignment. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'll just use this source one, this revenue as a one. But what you have to do, you have to create 2014 as a one file, 2013 as a one file, and merge again. Okay, so what I can do here, I can create a new file. What is that? Append query as a new. If I use query as a new, you use this. If I use this, you use this. So let me use this so that you will understand some extra file here. Why I'm using it, I'm just taking 2014. In 2014 itself, I'm adding 2013 file. How to do that? Append query. I'm not using append query as a new. If I use the new, it will create a new file, but I'm not doing that. In 2014 itself, I'm adding 2013. Okay, append queries. It will ask you two files. Yes, two files. What is the first one? This is the current one. What I would like to append, I'm going to append because this is current one. Okay, whatever the file I have, that is there. This is the current one. I'm going to append this. Okay, if you have more than two, just use this and just append. Boom, all will come in a one go. Okay, but this is the one. Now I see in the 2014 I should have a row count almost 700 plus, say 730. This is perfect. So all are appended perfectly. You see all on three columns. If you have little difference, let's say in one other column you have a capital D or just type different, then you should have see all other different columns. If you want, we can experiment. Okay, I'll show you. This is one of the key important guys. Doing a project is not that important, but understanding they will definitely ask this question. I'm just what I'm doing. I'm just changing the name. Okay, just D to capital D. If I do same thing again without changing anything, append queries. Okay, two tables only. This is the current one. If I choose this, Now see what it will come. It will come on extra one more column. See date. Okay, all nulls are coming because Power BI is understanding this is a different column, but actually this is not different column. This is the same column. See nulls. Here you have nulls. Here you have nulls. Because wherever this data is there, then nulls. Wherever this data is there, then it has nulls. So that is the reason it created. So even you have a single space or single letter different, data type different, then it will create as a new for the append. Okay, so let me go back and do. I mean, guys, understand clearly. This is one of the most important thing. Now I'm going back and changing the same B. Okay, and just append the data. Again, I'm using the same append query. 2 using this 14, 13 as another one. Just check the count, make sure that is appended perfectly. 730 perfect. Okay, or you can also check like this the data, you can see 2013 also. Okay, then it's perfect. Okay, now we got this, and you can change the name also. Okay, tax source. This is tax source. Why? What extra benefit I'm getting? I can unload this. Okay, I cannot. I no need to enable load the load because it will save my performance, Power BI performance. If I unload enable load will be disabled, it will not load into the data model. We have done that. Okay, that is the reason I'm just doing it. This is the only one. But now again, the same thing I'll do. How many rows? How many columns are there? 6 columns are there. How many columns here I have? 6 columns are there. Okay, so perfect. Now what I can do, same thing I can do, append. This is the current one, choose this revenue as a next one. Okay, so it should be 6 columns. If it get changed, then problem with the naming or data type, but that did not change. If I go and check the transform, see it's already given that row count 730. If it is 1000 below, you will see the row count here. Okay, if it exceeds more than 1000, you will not see. You have to use this transform and row count. Okay, now you are becoming master. Okay, you are becoming a master data source, data editing. Okay, now what I have to do, I have to rename this. Okay, revenue. This is a revenue. Revenue. Okay, something like this, and you can disable this. Disable enable load. Okay, now actually you can create one more folder, one more group, and there you can say taxi model, and which means I can come and see what files actually loaded into my model and what are the sources for that model. All those things I can see. Okay, you can use the duplicate and reference also. Guys, you know this, right? Reference. In my first project I used to use this reference. That is also one of the good way. Okay, that is also one of the good way. But I can move this to taxi model. I can move this to taxi model. No, I won't do this right now because I have to do one more step. I need to join this to this. Okay, I need one file only. How can I do? This time I use not append but I do merge. But to do merge, I should have a common column. What is a common column here? The date column. Okay, here we have only per day per day and rides per day, rides per passenger, but here we have extra columns, distance, fare, extra, taxi, tip, all those things we have, but the common is date. So now let's merge. Now let's merge as a queries, but you use merge as a new. Okay, I'm using this, or otherwise I can use this because that time I used as a right. So you will understand the difference. Okay, now I'm using as a new. okay, because it will create a new. Okay, what I'm going to use this time, taxes source. But what is the different same column? This column. Okay, see 730 columns are matched. Okay, so